so that people, if they buy, they get some benefit. Like Amazon and all have those subscription models where like every month or every after 2 months, if you buy the same product, you get some extra discount. And next is there are like razor blade model where you try to make the product the very cheap so that people are willing to buy that product. So there are several models that way. So all that we discussed. So before I begin with the class today, let me just show you two figures. Okay, can you see this diagram and this figure? Hello. Yeah. Can you see this figure, everyone? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell me what is this? Anybody? What is this figure? Can you tell me what is this? Is it a bird or what is it? What is this bird? Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
What is this bird?
It's a crane, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's a crane. Yeah, it's a crane. Okay. So one more figure I'll show you. Just look at this. So what is this, anyone? This
It is
heavy
also a
weight.
crane.
It is also a crane. Okay. So just see that there are two words like the same particular word we are using for two different things. So suppose you are going to a building construction site and you see this heavy vehicle working there and you come and narrate the story like incident to your friend that I went to a building construction site, I saw a crane carrying objects there and all. So obviously, it's obvious that your friend will make like try to understand that you are talking about this particular vehicle. He or she will never understand that you are talking about the bird, right? Could you understand? Like it depends on the context. The vocabulary that you use depends on the context. Is it clear? Could you understand this basic concept today? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so this is the basic concept which we will be discussing today. The vocabulary which defines the model or makes you understand what model you are basically using and all. So how to go about that in your IoT domain, all this vocabulary. So the topic for today's discussion is semantic models for data models. That's it, how it is. So before I go into the theories of semantic model, what is semantic models and all, just try to understand one small example. Suppose you have your BTOP account, okay, where all your details are there, starting from your phone number, your parents' number, your registration number, your marks of the previous semester, your photos, every detail is there, okay, in your BTOP website. And suppose there is another website where only your name is there and your PAN card detail is there. Okay, your VTOP doesn't have the PAN card detail, but there is a different site where your name and the corresponding PAN card details are there. So if I assign you the task of like integrating two sites, the information from two sites, do you think it is possible? Can you integrate those two sites information? And if you can integrate, what will be the like decide like on what basis you will be able to merge those two information? Can anybody think of this? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you think of this? The example I told you that there are two sites. One is your VTOP site where you have all your information starting from your name, registration number, your parents' number, your phone number, your marks, all details are there. but it doesn't have a PAN card details. But there is one more site where it has only two fields. One is your name, one is your PAN card. So is there any way that you can merge the information from these two sites? And if you can, then what will be like, on what basis you will be merging? Anyone?
I don't think we can.
Okay. It cannot be merged? Okay. Any other who thinks it can be merged?
The only thing we have in common is the name, and many people can have the same name.
Oh
So
no, oh yeah, that is one condition. I'm specifying that there is no repetition in the name. Take it that way. This is just an
then
example.
we can merge, obviously.
Okay, so if you have that condition and you have these two sides information, so obviously you can merge those information because the name is common in both these like sides. So you that particular attribute, if you take, you will be able to merge the information. So that's what happens in your IoT system too. Okay. So in the previous class we discussed that there are different IoT business models. Okay. So suppose one model is your subscription model, which will have information regarding after how 2 months you will be buying and all those details. There is another model approach which you can also like use, like reservoir model, or different approaches are there. But now think how, suppose you are using your smart band. Okay. So your smart band has information regarding your heart rate, pulse rate, then your BP is not your BP, your number of steps, number of calories burnt, all this information you have in your smart band of the wristwatch. Okay. Then there is one more like device. Suppose your mobile phone or something. Or suppose when you are traveling home back in your car, what you do is you are informing your AC. Okay, to switch it on because it is hot outside or something. You inform your AC that after 5 minutes I'll be reaching. Within 5 minutes, the temperature has to come to like 24 or 26 degrees Celsius. That's what you order your AC. So this is one information in one device, that is your AC is informed about this. Then your smart band has all your details like your pulse rate, calories. So it also has the information that you've worked so much today, you have burned so many calories. So that information is with a different device. Then there is one more device, suppose the fridge. Okay, so you like a particular kind of flavor of ice cream, suppose in summer and all those information are with your fridge. And if your fridge sees like knows that you are coming in 5 minutes, so how will it know? From the AC's information. Okay, the AC, if it knows that the owner is coming in 5 minutes, the information has to be shared with every other device in the IoT ecosystem. So once that is shared, so every device in the IoT system will be trying to give their best as per the obtained information. So suppose your AC knows that you are coming in 5 minutes, so your fridge will be also informed about that. And your freeze would be knowing that you like a particular flavor of ice cream at this particular degree Celsius. So it will be like making it cool to that range, that particular temperature. So that once you come, you will be able to eat that. Okay. So these are like this is a simple example like how you connect different devices together using some particular attribute. So what will be the attribute here? Here your name will be the attribute. Okay, because your name will be given to the AC that this X is coming at 5 in 5 minutes, so the AC has to be on. So if X is coming, the freeze will be informed X is coming in 5 minutes. So the necessary steps will be taken by freeze depending on who is coming. If X is coming, this food is needed. If Y is coming, this temperature this the other food temperature has to be adjusted. So all these things have to be streamlined. This is called as semantic modeling. Semantic modeling means semantics means the hidden meaning. Okay, so all these models or all these devices in your IoT ecosystem have to be merged together to obtain a semantic. Okay, to that means to derive a meaning out of that. Okay, so there are like let me just give you one example. So there are different models available. Okay, so one is your object serialization, relational, hierarchical, and graph model. So these are the four models which exist in your IoT system. So just remember one thing: all these tables are like not that necessary. Just see, there is a new word called as RDF. RDF is your resource description framework. Okay, so this is the data. So your graph model uses a RDF format of data, and the identifier here is an URI. So you can anyway go through all these things, that your object serialization model has a like what are the properties data, like object property values. Relational model has table cell values. Hierarchical model has different tags or attribute values. Graph has an RDF. Okay, and the identifier is URI. Okay, you can anyway. So why include semantics in data? Okay, that is as I told, semantics means the hidden meaning of the like model or something. So why include semantics in the data? So everywhere in your, suppose whatever device you are using, all those contain simple data. Okay, data has some information, and once you extract those information and merge them, that is called as finding the semantics in the data. Okay, so that is called as knowledge integration. That means you combine the or integrate the knowledge from all the different models which you have. So suppose example I'll give you. Suppose there are two websites. Okay, one is a website where you have information about all the Oscar winning movies, with like the star cast, the plot, the year of release, the IMDb rating, all those, like what categories it won the Oscar and all. So one particular Oscar site has that information, but it doesn't have information regarding the biography of that, like actors who are part of that movie and all. So all the biography of the actor is not there in that site. Apart from that, every other information regarding the Oscar winning movies, what categories it won, what is the script, who is the producer, director, all those star cast, every detail is there. But there is one more site which has just the autobiography of the, like the biographies of the actors. Okay, like this actor, this is the biography. This actor, this is the biography. So obviously, if the name of the actor is common in both the websites, you can easily merge those two websites. So that's why when we search in the name of a particular person or a particular star in Google, what will come? It will merge the content of both the sites and display you all the information. Okay, so now also you can see in your Google and all, since it is like in a continuous effort to make the life better. So now also if you Google something, so suppose you are searching about a particular restaurant or something, what do you get? You get every detail from the, like every source in the internet available at your fingertip. Like the moment you click the name of the restaurant, you get, like in Zomato, this is the like rating, this is the price, and Swiggy, this is the price, how far it is, like how convenient it is, what kind of specialty it has, in like whether it's a Chinese restaurant or a Thai restaurant or continental. So depending on like whatever available information is there over the net, everything gets displayed the moment you write the name. Have you noticed that? Like the moment you write something, you get every information about that restaurant, starting from rating, distance from your place, and what is the specialty of that restaurant. Every detail you get. Okay, so that's what is happening now in semantic integration. Okay, that is knowledge integration. That means semantic interpretation of the websites or data, whatever you call. So now let me just give you one example. Have you heard about the site Trivago? Anybody? Trivago? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know what it does? Trivago?
No, I think it plans trips.
Yeah. The thing is, yeah, it help you plan trips, but it has nothing of its own. Okay. It's just a site which gives you comparison between different sites. Have you opened Trivago? It will, if you want to book a hotel, Trivago doesn't have a hotel. Okay. like you can book your hotel through Pick My Trip or Go Ibibo or Ease My Trip. So there are different platforms through which you can book your hotel or your flight or your rail ticket. Every like from Make My Trip also you can do all those things. From Go Ibibo also you can do all those things. So they have different offers at different times of the day, different times of the week, every time. So what Trivago does is Trivago has none of these features. It has not tie-ups with none of the hotels, nothing. But what it does is it is just a site which compares the websites. Okay, so if you open Trivago and the moment you type, suppose you are searching hotel and suppose Lonavala or something, the moment you type Lonavala hotels, it will give you comparison between all the websites. Okay, it doesn't have a tie-up with anyone. None of the OYO rooms or nowhere it has tie-up. It simply give you information regarding that Make My Trip offers these are the hotels in Make My Trip available in Lonavala and these are the prices and these are the trips available like hotels available in Guayaquil. So you can get a clear cut comparison between the hotels in different sites. So that is what happens in semantic interpretation of the IoT data. Is it clear? Could you understand this much? Yeah, could you understand this much? Is it clear or no? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is what is done in this semantic integration. Okay. Let's look at these two, like as I told, how to collaborate the websites. So obviously there should be a common factor or the common field between the websites which will help you merge the two sides. So then sharing with the semantic web model. So these are some like how that sharing of information happens between the models and all. So the basic thing that it help you merge the information is the vocabulary. Okay. So obviously you know that you can combine the information from two sides. The way I told you, VTOP and the PAN card websites can be compared because the name is common in both the things. Okay, so just keep in mind that there are different fields in the VTOP website. What are the fields? One is your name, one is your registration number, one is your marks, one is your mobile, one is your parents details. So all these are your different fields, names of different fields. Similarly, in the PAN card website also you have different fields. One is your name, one is your PAN card number. Okay. So remember, if you want to merge these two information, the name of the field should be same. Okay. If you are writing name as suppose in the French or something you write that and instead of name you write it as a different language in BTOP website and in PAN card you have a different like language. Instead of name you write in German or something. So what will happen is you won't be able to merge. So the first thing is the vocabulary in the two models which you want to merge has to be same. Is it clear? Is it clear? Do you understand this much?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the first thing, so already you know that you need for like improving your IoT ecosystem, you need semantic interpretation of the data, which is possible because of knowledge sharing. And how is that knowledge sharing happening? Because you are using a common vocabulary between the models. Okay, and next, if you are using a common vocabulary, also keep in mind that ontology plays a role. So what is ontology? The example which I told you, the crane example. So both the bird crane and the heavy vehicle crane both mean like the spelling of both the words is exactly same. The pronunciation is exactly same. The only difference is the context. Okay. So if you are trying to merge two models, keep in mind that your context also matters. So depending on context, the vocabulary might change. So accordingly, you need to adjust. So there is something called a formal syntax for defining ontologies is OWL. Okay. So see, the full form is Web Ontology Language, not the Ontology Web Language. Okay. So it should be ideally WOL, but they write it as OWL because this is easy to pronounce. The acronym is like it's easy to spell it that way. So that's why it is written as OWL instead of WOL. This is a syntax for the ontology. This is just a like little thing I wanted to tell you. So the Oscar winning site which I told you. So there is a site which has all the details of Oscar winning movies, and there is one more site which has details of the actor biographies. So if you want to merge them, so you need to have a common vocabulary between them. That means the name of the actors will be same. Then only you will be able to merge. Okay. So uh, so this is like how to merge and all. So you can go through all these things. Then I'll tell you this. As I told, what is the semantic model? So it is basically a flexible data management and processing platform for any kind of data. So no need to get into the theory part. Just understand semantic modeling means you try to merge the data or the knowledge of different models using some vocabulary and taking ontology into account. Is it clear? Do you understand this? Whatever I told you? Yeah. Hello. Hello. Yeah,
Yes,
is it
ma'am.
okay? Could
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand this little
Yes,
concept?
ma'am.
Just need not go into the theory, just understand. You need information from all the websites about a single thing to be merged together. So that's what it's semantic interpretation does. Like you need to integrate everything. So why you go for this semantic? This is because you it is interoperable. Okay, you can operate between different models. You if you're semantics are merged. Next is data integration. Okay, the data can be integrated because same thing is available in like information about the same thing is available at different sources. So you can merge everything. So that helps also. Then data abstraction and access. Okay, so you once you have merge everything, the access once you access a single thing, content about a single thing, all your information is at your fingertip. So that way it makes the consumer like more they're more equipped with. Next is resource and service search and discovery. So that's what I told you. The moment you start search something, all the information will be available. So that is also one advantage of your semantic integration. Next is semantic reasoning and interpretation. So how it helps? So if you have set all the information about the content at a single go, so obviously you will be able to interpret it more like in a better way. You can interpret the same thing in a better way if you have information about all the things. Suppose you have the Oscar winning site and the biography site. If you merge them, just think that there is a particular family, just as in Bollywood, we have a certain particular families where they like from generation to generation they keep acting. Okay, so if you have those kind of biographies, so you can understand that okay they all belong to the same family, and that acting is in their genes and all, so they are like into more into this acting and they win. So there is some kind of logical reasoning will come into your brain. Okay, so that helps ultimately in improving the the quality of if means the data interpretation and all at the consumer end. So that's why we go for all this semantic integration. So just remember one thing: this semantics is not always enough. We need to keep the vocabulary and the ontology into mind. Okay, that has to be always kept in mind. Then this ontology, as I told you, ontology means depending on context, the vocabulary changes. So that's all. There's so many theories are there in that. I'll just share the slides. You can go. These are not that important from the exam point of view. Also, there is not much important in this. Just you try to understand what is semantic interpretation of the data or the model. Understand? There are some related developments what is happening. So just one thing you need to understand what is sensor perception. So obviously if you are going for semantic integration, that means you are merging the information from different like devices or models or whatever it is. So you if you have different devices, so obviously they have different sensors. Okay, so your sensor in the AC and the sensor in the fridge, so they are having different sensors. So the act of observation performed by heterogeneous sensor create an avalanche of data that must be integrated and interpreted in order to provide knowledge of the situation. Okay, so this is called as perception. Okay, sensor perception. Sensor perception means the sensor in the AC and the sensor in the fridge, everything, the both the sensors has to be merged. Okay, that is called as sensor perception. Okay, this is just a term you need to. So that's all for now. So let me stop sharing the screen. Is there any like you have any doubt? Anybody? This is simply like under today's class was about semantic understanding of the data or model. So that is only possible if you have a common vocabulary between model and you take ontology into account. That's it. Is it clear? Could you understand this much?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me then give you the poll. You can